Hello, viewers. I hope you're doing well. Right now on my screen, you can see a web page for SafeLine WAF. This is actually an open source security tool that is currently quite popular, and it was developed by a Chinese company named Chaitin Tech, which is very well known. It was basically designed to secure our applications or websites. Let me show you a bit of how it works. I have already connected an application here, but there is another thing to show you. On the left side, you can see the homepage option. I will click on it, and from there, we will go to their main website. And here, as you can see, you can get a 7-day trial. There's an option for a live demo, and the procedures on how to install are also clearly shown here. Now, if we scroll down a bit, you can see they provided a workflow diagram, which shows exactly how it works. For example, right here, it shows legitimate users and search engine spiders going to the internet. And below, we have attackers, malicious crawlers, and vulnerability scanners. The ones at the bottom are harmful, while the ones at the top are normal users. This application, the Web Application Firewall, which is a SafeLine WAF we were looking at earlier, will filter these harmful elements or malicious attacks. And I'll show you what it does here. Let me select this tool. From here, internet traffic will pass through this website or application, which you can install on your local host or in the cloud. From there, it goes to your web APIs, websites, and web apps, meaning whatever application you use, whether you manage an e-commerce site or use an application for your store or business. This ensures that it is handled safely for your customers, making sure everyone's security is guaranteed. That is basically the core purpose of this application. You can see here that I have added my existing website for testing. Actually, sorry, this is their demo dashboard. In this demo, you can see that many websites or applications are connected here. For those of you who want to learn more about this application, you can simply visit the website address shown above, which I will also share in the comment section, or you can go directly to their main website address to access it. Okay, first, let's take a look at my website. Here is Zima. As you can see, I had connected a NAS on my local host, and I have connected that same setup here through a website. I have defined a URL for this, and I want to access and work with it in a safe and secure way. For that, I am using SafeLine WAF. If I go into the details here, you can see that my local host IP has been redirected to my website here using Cloudflare. What happens is, when this website is hit, the request first goes to SafeLine, and SafeLine then uses the Upstream link to provide secure access to my NAS. In today's video, we will show you how to set up this entire process. We will cover how to install it on your local host, how to execute it, and everything else. But before that, let's see how it actually works and what it can do. Not only what it does for the website itself, but also for other aspects. Since I connected it to the very basic route, you won't see many reports here. You can see my routings are being shown here. The routings that were available after I added them are displayed here. Okay, next, we can see if there are any attacks. If there's any attack on my website, it will be displayed here, and you can also check the logs. Since I have only just set this up initially, there is no such information here. Here we have the Allow and Deny option, where you can allow IP addresses or create custom rules. If you want, you can create a rule here under Custom Rules. Those who work with firewalls in this section will understand what kind of operations can be done here. As for those who are complete beginners, I suggest doing a bit of reading, some Google searching, or getting help from Gemini or AI. You too will be able to perform very well here. Okay, next we have HTTP flood. You can also unblock things from here. If any website is blocked or has been blocked, you can unblock it here. You can configure its settings, such as access control. For instance, you can set it to allow requests, specifying that if 100 requests come from your IP within 10 seconds, it will be identified as a bot. There are many other such features that I am enabling here. Okay, I feel this is an excellent service, and it is almost free. Even for the paid version, the price is very low. I am currently using a 7-day trial version to explore and test it. You can see here that I am using a Pro Edition for 7 days. Okay, here you can see anti-bot. There are anti-bot settings as well. You can enable switch to local challenge here. Next is off, which you can also enable, all right? You can add user, configure app off. Several options are provided here. You can add users here. Okay, next we have settings. Under settings, you can add an IP group. Okay, then you can upload certificates if you have any. After that, you have management options and system log. With all of this in mind, let's first test the website we have added. I will copy the address from here, open a new tab, and send a request to it. See, we easily accessed it. However, this is actually running on localhost. Okay, let's see what appears in the details. If we go to statistics, you can see that as soon as I hit the page, just like I am doing now, it immediately shows real-time data of this website being accessed. It displays the real-time queries per second being used. Currently, there are no blocks. You can view 2D and 3D maps, which will populate once there is heavier usage. This was a brief overview of the application's interface. Now, let's add another website or application to show you how you can do it. Let's start from the beginning. Now we will try to perform a completely fresh installation and show you how to add an application and how it works. Before adding the application, we need to create a fresh container. Here, I am working with Proxmox virtual environment, but you can directly install it on any Linux distribution if you prefer. Let's get started. First, we will set a host name here. For SafeLine, let's just enter SL or write S-line. We need to set a password here, and I will enter the password I usually use. In your case, choose a password that is easy for you to remember. I will select local for storage and choose Ubuntu as a template. After choosing Ubuntu, we will select a 20 gigabytes hard disk from here and click Next. I will allocate 2 cores. This runs even on minimal configurations. I am setting the memory to around 2 gigabytes. Next, under Network, since we're using a static network, I will enter my static IP here. In your case, select the IP settings according to your needs. If you have a dynamic IP, select Dynamic, as no extra configuration is needed for dynamic IP. If you have a static IP, set up your static IP accordingly. I will set my IP here as a 128/24 block. From here, I will select and enter the gateway and click Next. This is actually just a setup for my Proxmox configuration. It is not directly related to installing SafeLine, as you can easily install SafeLine on Ubuntu or Debian. I am simply configuring Ubuntu on my local host where I will perform the installation. You can see that my S-Line container hasn't started yet. I will start it now. Once started, the console will be available. You can see our console has started. Now, I will log in using my user ID and password. As you can see, I have successfully logged in with my user ID and password. What we need to do next is use some commands that I have written down. You can pause the video to view them, or I will try to provide them in the description. First, we need to update Ubuntu, which is why I have written down the update command line here. You can run this command to perform the update. You can see the update process has begun. It may take some time to update, depending on your system. If you are using a hard disk, it will take longer, whereas with an SSD, it will take less time. You can see that it is reading the packages, and the installation and update process has started. You can see the progress here, and it is going quite well. The speed depends on your internet connection to determine how fast or how little time it will take. You can see that our installation and update progress is going along well. We have reached 40%. Once this is complete, we will run the next command. We have to wait here for a moment. You can use this quite efficiently. If we navigate to the installation section and look at deploy, you can see the commands listed for SafeLine. The commands are provided right here, although I have already copied these commands beforehand. If you want, you can manually copy the command from here to use or set up the application. I am following my preferred commands, but you can gather command lines from here to proceed with the installation. As you can see, my Ubuntu update is complete. Once updated, we need to install curl. I have written down the curl installation command line, and you can use this to install it. The installation process has now begun. After installing curl, we need to install Docker. Docker is required to run this on Ubuntu. I am entering the command for Docker installation now. You will need to follow the same procedure on your end. Installing Docker might take a little time. Please be patient during the process because Docker is essential. This application will not function without Docker. Even though I am using a Linux container, Docker is still required. You can see that Docker is now installed. With Docker installed, we will now install Docker Compose. We need to enter a command for this, which I am doing right now. You must follow these exact command lines. Now we will execute the main command to install SafeLine, which officially begins the installation process. Once it runs, you need to press enter and then type Y to continue. The SafeLine installation is now underway. You can see it has started pulling the files. This process takes about 3 to 4 minutes at most, allowing us to easily complete the setup in that time. As a side note, if you're using a Debian or Ubuntu VPS, you can also perform the installation smoothly in the exact same way. The installation is now nearing completion. SafeLine is starting up. Once it starts, an administrator account's user ID and password should appear. In this instance, the admin password and user ID have not appeared, which means we need to generate them. Let's see how we can do that. In that case, we need to run a command like this. Let's see if we get the password after running this command. Sorry, we okay. From here, we will now run the docker exec command. We entered it. Let's see if any user ID and password show up now. Yes, we can see that our user ID and password have appeared. Since our user ID and password have appeared, as you can see, after running this command, the user ID and password are now shown. In some cases, the user ID and password might not appear the first time. If that happens, just follow this command, and your user ID and password will show up. I had assigned 128. Let's go and check the IP that is shown here. Let's copy this first, and then we will edit it here. Okay, we have a port number here, as you can see, 9443. And let's check the IP we assigned here. We'll click on network. Clicking on network, you can see there was an IP here, 10.10.50.128. I am copying this, 10.10.50.128. Let's see if our SafeLine is running. Okay, we pasted it here. Now you see 10.10.50.128, followed by a colon. Let's see. Since this does not have a valid certificate, a warning screen like this will appear. There is nothing to worry about here. Click on Unsafe to continue. We are just continuing, and we are presented with a welcome screen like this. Okay, we clicked Agree and Start. Now we need to enter our username and password. To enter the username and password, we need to go back to the console. From there, the username is admin, which I will type manually, and I am copying the password from here. I have copied the password. If for some reason you accidentally exit and don't have the password anymore, what should you do? Just run this command once more from here, and the password will be generated for you again. Let's type admin here, and then I am entering the password. Once entered, as you can see, we have successfully logged in. Okay, let's see how we can add an application here. To add an application, we need to go to Add Application. After coming to Add Application, we will install the application we previously installed here. In this domain section, we will enter HNN like this. We will keep port 80 as it is, and then we will click Submit. Once submitted, you can see it has been added successfully. This is how you can add any application. Now, let's try to add an application to our older setup that we installed earlier. For instance, let's see if we try to add AdGuard. AdGuard has an HTTP port address, so we will do one thing. We are keeping HNN on the same IP as before, so let's copy it. After copying, we will paste it here, enter HNN, and delete the rest of the URL. And the application IP ends with port 77. Okay, let's enter that. Let's type the application name as AdGuard. Okay, let's see if we can add it this way. As you can see, our AdGuard has been added. This is how you can very easily add applications on your local host. Let's test this now. If we visit this website, let me copy this link and go to the stats. Let's see what happens. I will minimize this window a bit so that we can view the background. Now, I will paste a link here and hit enter. Let's see what registers here in real time as soon as we hit enter. Look at that. It is currently verifying. The first hit has already registered, and I can see the AdGuard login screen has loaded. As soon as it appeared, you can see that the queries per second started rising. The hit was recorded. All right, okay. Next, let's check the other application we added named HNN. Let's copy the address for HNN from here. We will copy it. Select all here, paste the address, and hit enter. Let's check the application statistics for this new installation. As you can see, the queries per second have started tracking here as well. Since we just set up HNN, this is on a fresh installation. This is how you can install SafeLine on your local host or virtual environment and configure applications in it. There are many other features and options here. It is not possible to explain all the options in detail in a single video. However, I have tried to show you how to install it, add apps, and track them all within this video. If you have any questions or want to know more, please leave a comment, and we will try to assist you with updates. That's all for today. Goodbye.